What's going on, everybody? It's Antonio from Akari Press. We're on the Indiegogo. $73,280. Santana, baby. Triple cover pack is, of course, still ongoing. If you want it, head on over to Indiegogo or just type in AkariPress.com. It'll take you right there. Link, of course, is in the description. And if you go to AkariPress.com, you will actually be able to read. In fact, let me pull it up. The first 21 pages of Brand. You can go right here on the page, and here's the little link. Read the first 21 pages of Brand for free. You can read it. I've also got a direct link in the description. But let's get into it, because I did an update yesterday. I was trying to set certain things up, and so that's why the delay on the update, because I wanted to make sure I had all my ducks in a row before I made any specific announcements. Getting into it, big thing is making it officially announced, because I've said it a few times on the YouTube channel that we were adding 4 pages to Brand. When I did the last update, we only had 8 pages left. Now we've got 10, or actually probably within the next few hours, 9, because Kanan was almost done with the next page. So, but let me just say 9.5 pages. So, because like I said, he was rendering, but the page isn't done yet. But I know within the next few hours of me recording this and uploading it, I should have another page from Kanan, and then he'll be on to the next one, and we'll be back to just being at 8 pages again. But one of the things I talked about in the update, because I get messages all the time, what's Kanan doing? Why is this taking so long? Da, 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 and I think a lot of people have the mistaken idea that all Kanan does all day, or all he's supposed to be doing, is drawing pages of Brand. When I brought Kanan in, he was under contract to Stranger Comics, and he was working on that comic book, and he was doing commissions and pinups and little things. He was doing the Stranger Comics books. He was doing stuff for Zenoscope and some other comic companies. Brand is not his only source of income. So, yes, he got paid to do that, and he's definitely knocking that out. And as Kanan will tell you, his top priority is finishing this book and moving on to Way of the Gun. So I am really excited about that, because, man, I can't wait to see what he does with the new pages once we start Way of the Gun, because I can't wait to get everything finalized and prepped, and start shipping everything, fly Kanan out and actually get to hang with him and get these books signed and ship them out to everybody. But what, as I get asked, what's Kanan doing? Like I said, album, he's got 4 album covers that he's working on. One of them was completed, and I saw it, and the client is very pleased. It's a group called the Four Devils. I'm really, I wish I could show it. I guess when the client starts showing it, I guess I will show it. But Kanan did an incredible job, and the color job on it looks really good, and the client was really excited. So that made me happy when I delivered that to the client. The guys in the band saw it's 4 guys, like I said, it's Four Devils, the Four Devils, rap group out of Chicago, and that project should be dropping very shortly. Apparently, they actually gave me and Kanan the MP3s for the album to listen to, and it sounded pretty good. So, but Kanan's gonna do 3 more album covers, and he's got people asking him to do like variant covers for their Kickstarters and their Indiegogos. I know there's some projects coming up on Kickstarter and stuff that's gonna have his art, but there is one in particular I had mentioned in the update for Guardians of Erloth 2, and here is Kanan's cover for Guardians of Erloth 2. Chow did that, and I mean, and we actually have the original art for this for sale. One of the things that I stressed to Kanan when I took over as his art rep, he was wanting to have different ideas on how to increase, his income. And one of the ideas I had, I've always been an admirer of Jason Fabok, and Jason Fabok is a digital artist like Kanan is. But one thing I've noticed is that when Jason does, he gets a cover or he has a big splash page in a book, he does those traditionally so that he has the art to sell. So that's something that I've gotten. And Kanan used to resist all the time when I would mention this to him, but he started seeing that the income was increasing from different covers that he's been able to sell. He sold the Monster Hunt cover that he did for Mike S. Miller's campaign. We sold the Iron Skies cover. Sold the David Craven Shinobi Sasquatch pinup that's going to be part of your backer rewards. So having that original art, is a good source of extra income, and then he can go back. He's just, he's drawing it with the pencils, and some of you have bought Kanan's, pinups and posters and stuff at the auctions, and how detailed his pencils are, and then he can scan that, and then he goes in like this, and look at the intricate detail. Now, these are obviously digital inks, so, that's one of the things with the pages that we sold. He does the page in pencil, and, marks where he needs to, like say this area here where the cape is, he'll put his he'll put the marks down to let him know that those are going to be black areas and everything. But he killed this cover, and obviously Chow was very happy with it. I think the Guardians of Erloth 2 campaign will be very successful. But yeah, Kanan killed this. But yeah, like I said, Kanan has several jobs that he does, and now that I'm handling his commissions list, I see all the, just different. Someone contacted us about they want Kanan to do something for a film. It was like, hey, well, I want you to do this and and it sounded very intricate, but we're always excited for different opportunities. But he's doing that, and then he has to go back and draw pages for a brand and everything. Basically a color update where we are on the colors, because colors are being flatted. I talked to our colorist last night, and he was doing something. This is one of the pages. Obviously, this is the final colors on it. It showed that. This is one of my favorite pages. I don't know how, and I wrote this scene. I remember I wrote this in the book, and I didn't know if Kanan would be, because sometimes I feel bad when I write certain things, and I don't know if I'm, because I remember talking to Elliott, and Elliott was like, you're giving so much information that I don't know if it's going to be like a visual overload and everything. But Kanan gave me the page to this, and I was like, this turned out better than I could have imagined. The basic premise being the character William, and he's waking up. Certain things have happened, and he's reaching out to David, and David is able to, they have a telepathic link, and David is able to use that link to see through his eyes. I really like the coloring effects here, because Kanan did a really good job of creating this effect just in black and white. And then our colorist Kid Icarus, he went in and he really kind of, you see this little blurring effect here, which is what I wanted. I told him, I said, you remember that scene where in what was it? I think it was a Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin kept having those visions of Padme, in labor, and he was seeing it, and I was like, that was kind of how I was seeing it. And so when I said that, he was like, oh, okay, I can kind of do like a blurring effect and everything. And and this is actually one of our backers here. He's playing the vampire character. So I've shown him a few scenes where he's in. Then we go here, and this is where we get into, the big thing where we show that, David and Penance can merge. And I really like what Kanan did here. It gets a little, yeah. And this, I can't wait to get colors on this page, because this page here, and this is actually a physical page. One of our backers is going to get this page, or the pencils to this page anyway. This is the introduction to Morgan, and you've seen some of the promo art for Brand. You know that there's this big demon dog thing, which I call Reapers, and this is the character Morgan. You will always be able to tell Morgan because Morgan has this lightning bolt on the side here, and that he has that big distinguishing mark. And this is Morgan getting his eat on after the hunters have done their thing. But there's other Reapers there as well. They tend to be like pack animals. But I can't wait. Morgan, because like I said, you'll see Morgan again in Way of the Gun. Obviously, he's going to be an important character, especially when we actually introduce David and Dawn to each other, and you start seeing it. So, like I said, I got a couple of messages. People seem to really like the update, and I appreciate those of you that have reached out to me, and I appreciate you guys, your patience. It Kanan knows. Kanan's like, man, I know everybody's excited to get this book, and I want to make sure that I give them my best shot. He said this is some of the best work I've ever done in my career, and I mean, he's really excited for you guys to see the whole thing. But obviously, again, the preview is there for those of you that you don't know what the hell this is or whatever. You can read the first 21 pages and check it out, and then if you like it, then and have a few extra shekels, obviously we would ask that you support us. But let's get into the next campaign that I'm going to launch after, and that was one of the things when I first started talking about Way of the Gun. People said, well, Antonio, you haven't shipped the first book out, how are you going to launch another campaign? Well, guess what? I'm not launching another campaign until you guys start sending me photos and letting me know that you have received the comics that you paid for. That would just be, I see people and they run 2 or 3 campaigns at a time, and I'm not trying to do that. I want to get this one, fulfill it, and then I want to start another one. But as I've talked about Way of the Gun, one of the things I've mentioned was that there were going to be 6 different covers. So let's actually get into it. Cover A will be done by Ethan Van Sciver. So I had asked Ethan a few months ago if he would consider doing one cover for us, and he was surprised by that. It was strange. He's like, you want me to do a cover? I was like, yeah. I was like, of course. Because Kanan was like, yeah, Ethan would be dope. And I was like, exactly. So, he was like, yeah, I'll do one. And so, why wouldn't I ask Ethan Van Sciver? Ethan Van Sciver is a genius. Why would I not ask one of the most important artists within the last 30 years of this business? Why would I, multiple time New York Times bestseller, one of the most successful crowdfunding campaigns in the history of this. I mean, why would I not at least ask if he might contribute and bless us. So the A cover will be done by Ethan. I have some ideas on what I would like Ethan to draw for us, but I think I'm gonna go over a couple of ideas with Kanan as far as the layout, because he'll need a layout, and then send that layout over to Ethan and just let him do. I can't even. I know it's gonna be incredible, whatever it is. I know it is. Okay, so then the B cover. I talked to Rob Willits because I had mentioned to him a while back that I kind of had wanted him to do something. I bought the cover to Shinobi Sasquatch. I saw it and I just thought Rob is dope. So I was like, well, I already bought the Shinobi Sasquatch cover and I love his stuff, but I was wanting to get Rob, and that was part of the thing with us doing the brand Shinobi Sasquatch pinup. Kanan and I both think that book looks really good, and obviously, like I said, I bought a copy to support. So what I wanted to do, as opposed to just doing a pinup, I said, why don't I just ask him to be one of the cover artists? So I reached out to him. And I, Dark Santana will make his debut in Way of the Gun. So I was like, hey, Rob, I think the Dark Santana cover, I think I'd love to see you do one. And he was like, yeah. I think he was excited. So I shot him that money, and, I know he's setting everything up to do that, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he ends up coming up with. Cover C, as many of you have seen it, it is a lot of times when I'm streaming and the camera's on, you can see it in the background hanging on my wall. It is it's a take on the Demi Moore Vanity Fair cover, and then it's got Horus and Penance on it. And we've got colors on that already. Been preparing for this campaign for a few months. Cover D will be done by Elliott Fernandez. I was asking all these people to do covers, and Elliott was like, man, he said, how you going to be asking all these people to do covers for you, and you're not going to ask me to do a cover? And I was like, well, you're doing Doom Kicker and everything. I didn't want to bother you. I was like, I love Elliott's stuff. I mean, it's like Elliott's got 125,000 people following him on Instagram, and I was like, Elliott is dope, man. And I mean, and also I mentioned to him, I was like, well, I had already brought you in because Elliott did the Akari Press logo for us, and he did the sticker pack. The sticker pack that all the backers are going to receive. He did that for us and everything. So I was like, yeah, I mean, obviously I love and respect him. So I just didn't want to bother him. And he was like, no, man. He said, let me throw a cover on there. And so I was like, yeah, so I've already told Elliott what I want. And I think, the cover will have, one of the things that the cover will have is Wither on it. But, I explained to Kanan what I like the cover to look like, and then I told it to Elliott. Elliott had called me, and I kind of went over the idea, but I'm looking forward to doing that. And then so we've got two more covers, and they're both done by Kanan. So the first one will be the character Gaiman. This will be, Gaiman will be in Way of the Gun, and the only way to get that cover will be in the 6-pack. So the other covers you'll be able to buy individually. So if you only like 2 of the covers, then you can just, they've got the thing where you can add on something else. And so if that's the only 2 covers, like I only like cover A and cover F, And so you can just buy those 2 covers, or you can buy the 6-pack and get, and you'll be able to get this extra cover that will have gaming on it. So that will be the rarest of the covers, since I won't be selling that cover individually. But the other Kanan cover I will be selling individually will be this cover here. This will be Shi and Dawn Craven, and obviously that little guy there, Penance. This is the 25th anniversary of Shi, and I know Billy is about to launch probably within the next month or so. I'm looking forward to supporting it. Shi Return of the Warrior on Indiegogo. So I reached out to Billy and did some correspondence with his lovely wife Deborah, and we came to what I feel is a fair arrangement. Unfortunately, you can't just use people's characters. You sometimes agreements have to be in place, and just for the legalities and whatnot. Which is kind of strange because Ethan let me use Cyberfrog on a t-shirt design, and it was just Ethan just going, yeah, man, just you can use that, and I asked him how much I need to pay him and all that, and Ethan was just like, no, you don't have to pay me anything, and just and he just let me, and that's it's actually the only Cyberfrog shirt on Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon UK. So it's kind of cool because a lot of people bought those Cyberfrog shirts that I featured David Craven and Cyberfrog, and Kanan did a really good job on it. Although Ethan doesn't like the way the tongue waggles or whatever, so but it's a hot shirt. It's always cool when people have sent me photos on Twitter or whatever wearing the t-shirt. So but yeah, that just was a unique situation where Ethan was just like, yeah, you can use my character, and so we were grateful for it. But I was thrilled that I could come to an arrangement with the Tucci's, and they're going to allow us to use this. So I actually bought this art from Kanan, and it's like I'm excited, to have that framed up and hanging in my home. But yeah, this is I think this cover right here is going to do very well for us, and for those that come in early, there'll be an early bird special for the 6-pack. It'll be offered at a discounted rate. So if everybody wants all 6 covers, they'll be able to get everything, including this lovely cover here. I think Way of the Gun is going to be a fun book, and I'm looking forward to everyone reading it. It's going to be thought about at least 60 pages, but I kind of have to see how the script comes, because as I'm kind of tweaking everything, I'll have to kind of check on that. So but that's it. That's the update. As always, holler at me, send me a message. If you have questions, obviously you can comment on the YouTube. So with that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel. Everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in akaripress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Kanan White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm out.